So when Child was a child, he fell into a hole or something and saw this whale. Version 4.2 is about this whale. Sorry, all-devouring narwhal. So, story so far. This dude was running around with some old water that turned people into water, but only if you lived in the nation of water. Oh, also the old water's leaking into the new water, so if you touch the water in the nation of water, you turn into water. Oh, by the way, being water is bad. It's like dying. So naturally, after determining this dude was the one being evil, we sent Child to jail despite everyone saying he's innocent because the magic law machine that makes rulings for all the court cases said to. He then disappeared and is supposedly chilling in an ocean of the old water with this big whale. Sorry, all-devouring narwhal, destroyer of worlds. So, first things first, the old water is rising, specifically in this place, and despite the only notable feature of the area being a boat, several people fell into the water and died. Like these two guys. Anyways, apparently everyone dissolved by the water is now just chilling in an imaginary courtroom trying to declare this person guilty of being too nice, which means they have to stay there and be nice forever. The judge isn't having any of this though and brings her back to life. Oh yeah, he can do that because he's a dragon. Oh wait, I have to explain that now, don't I? Okay, so a long time ago there were 7 dragons and they all kind of ruled the world. Then this lady, I think, showed up and said, no, actually, I'm putting your magic dragon powers in these chess pieces and giving them to the 7 gods that I choose kind of, maybe we're not really sure yet. Oh, speaking of gods, the Hydro one is a lady and her name is Farina. Or Focalors, it's weird, but she's weird, so it fits. Also, she's not God. You see, the protagonist and his dragon friend take God to court and accuse her of not being God, to which she says, I've been God for 500 years, what do you mean? To which we respond, oh yeah, if you're God, then touch the old water that kills you if you're not God and or a water person. And she says, wash me, and dissolves into water and dies. Or at least she would have if we weren't also lying and diluted the old water with new water to make it slightly less of a murder weapon, which, by the way, means she was 100% willing to just dissolve in order to keep her secret. Why? Because 500 years ago, they told themselves to. You see, a while ago, there was Old Water God, and Old Water God ruled a nation of fish people. The fish people wanted to be real people, so she made them real people bodies using the old water. This means everyone in this whole area is a fish person, by the way, and their reaction to that information is to just ignore it, because being a fish person is a lot to handle, I would know. Anyways, God didn't like Old God creating life, so they prophesized that everyone in their nation would go into the murder water one day, and for some reason that destroys their fake human bodies, despite those bodies being made from the murder water. Old God disappeared or something, so when New God showed up, that's her, she was left with this whole God wants her, not technically fish people dead problem. To do this, she had to hide in plain stuff without God knowing, so she split her humanity and divinity apart. Due to a poor choice in role assignment, the human part went to go pretend to be God, while the actually God part just went somewhere else. For 500 years. And that whole time, Not God had to convince everyone that they were a god despite not having any magical abilities whatsoever. She did this by laughing a lot and running away from all of her problems. She did go a little crazy, but that kind of makes sense when you realize she just woke up one day, was told by her god reflection that she had to convince everyone that she was God for 5 centuries and not let anyone know or they would all die. And we are not helpful when it comes to keeping secrets. Half the story is just us hounding them trying to get them to tell us, which is like the only thing they cannot do. And they want to, super badly. I mean, they've kept the secret for 500 years. They're practically begging for someone to listen to their problems. Their mental state is more unstable than the puppet guy with abandonment issues who got emotionally and physically experimented on by a mad doctor, and he went and erased himself from existence using the magic tree that controls everything. So when we finally get to have a proper one-on-one with Not God, she lets down her guard. Her resolve weakens, and she starts to tell us everything. Then, surprise, the walls are fake, we've kidnapped you, it was a trick, you fell for a ruse, now we're accusing you of keeping a secret, please tell all the people in this massive room the big secret you were keeping that could kill all of us, please. So, after making sure that she will never trust anyone again, we prove that Not God is, in fact, not God, and the magic law machine sentences her to death. Oh, remember the real God half of Not God? She's just been hiding in the magic law machine and giving out rulings this whole time, which is why Child got sent to timeout in Old Water Ocean so he could deal with the whale. Sorry, all-devouring narwhal, destroyer of worlds, eater of galaxies. Speaking of, it's here! Apparently it's been eating all the old water to get stronger, and since the people here are made of old water, it wants to eat them too. Fortunately, Child punches it hard enough to send it back through the space portal, so everyone is fine for now. At least for the next 10 minutes, as for some reason the whale eating the old water also causes the oceans to rise? Not sure how that works, but sure. That means we need to kill it. But our dragon friend just tried to do that, and it didn't work out at all, and our god is just not a god. Also death sentence. But the death sentence isn't actually for Not God, it's for actually God. For 500 years, the magic law machine has been storing energy gathered from the people's belief in the justice system. Using all that energy, actually God did a little dance and then blew up the very concept of the water god. This returned the water god power back to our dragon friends, so we then team up to take out the big whale. Sorry, all-devouring narwhal, destroyer of world, eater of galaxies, annihilator of the cosmos. Narwhal defeated, this lady shows up. She's Child's teacher and shows just the right amount of concern for her injured pupil who just spent weeks fighting the second strongest being we've ever seen in this game. She says a bunch of cryptic, super important stuff, but most importantly, she mentions that fighting the whale caused the water levels on the surface to flood the entire nation, killing everyone. Except not, because before going and fighting the whale, our dragon friend rearranged everyone's blood from old water blood into normal people blood by firing a laser into the sky that made rain slow and sparkly. This means everyone probably survived the complete submerging of an entire nation because this one guy made a boat that picks up passengers in the most dangerously irresponsible way possible. And that's it. That's the end. Bye.